All right. Welcome everyone to USA Crypto Group. Appreciate you all being here. Today we have Victory Impact for this AMA session. Victory Impact's mission is to reshape the rewards ecosystem by creating a crypto-enabled marketplace that delivers exceptional savings on everyday products and travel purchases, but also contributes to social good with every transaction. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome Anthony from the team. Anthony, great to have you here, brother. If you can start out introducing yourself, talk about your team, and give us a bit of insight in your background and experience, please.
Yeah, Seattle, Mike, great to be here. USA crypto community, you guys are great. We're here because some of you guys are members of our Victory Impact Telegram, and you guys are just awesome. So excited to be here tonight with USA Crypto. My background, so it's myself and then John Spinner, co-founder who founded Victory Impact. I think he's trying to get in right now, but if he throws his hand up, just allow him to speak if that's cool. But yeah, really my background, and especially with this project is I had a background in traditional finance. So started my career at Merrill Lynch, did really well on a trading floor when I first started. After about 6 months, I was one of the number one guys in my entire segment of like 800 or so traders. From there, I got recruited into private wealth, and then finished up my career at Raymond James Financial. I was on a 5-man team where we managed a little under $1 billion, in assets for, wealthy business owners, doctors, lawyers, just high net worth asset management. This project, Victory Impact, this came out of a charity that John and I are involved in. So on that charity, that's the Bikes for Kids Foundation. And what we do is I'll tell you more about it later, but we aim to go into the hardest of the hard communities in America and soon to be the world. And we've come up with this program that's been around for the last 20 or so years, where when kids go through this program and they get a bike, it's been shown to increase high school graduation rates by roughly 2,000%. So John and I met in that charity. And then from there, we, kind of thought to ourselves, well, we need to raise money for this charity. What ideas do we have? What we can do this? And, we kind of talked a little bit about crypto. I mentioned, before the recording, I wasn't like a huge fan of crypto just because, I couldn't really see what crypto does. And, John was kind of the one, educated me a lot on it. And really for me, quickly came up with the idea to where we could utilize a crypto to support charity. But the first thing we asked ourselves was, okay, well, what's it going to do? We just can't have this coin where the only purpose of it is to support charity. Like, that's never going to work, right? You need a business to actually add value, to generate money so that you can give back and, make a difference. So through some trial and error, we came up with a few different ideas, landed on an idea, with travel and consumer packaged goods. So what I didn't tell you about my background is after I left Raymond James and became an entrepreneur, I founded a beverage company. So it's called Co-Aqua Coconut Water. We're a globally distributed coconut water brand. And, that's something my best friend and I started about 3.5 years ago. So, started out to where we were like, hey, maybe we'll do something with that. And then John, had the idea to kind of tap into the affiliate marketing space. And, there's this whole universe of, deals out there to where you have originators like, for example, Marriott and Hilton. They have unsold hotel rooms and they pay people like Expedia.com to sell those hotel rooms. So we're going after the same block of, potential hotel rooms. And what's cool about us is that instead of taking the fee that the Hilton or Marriott pays Expedia to run their business, we're getting that fee back to the customer in the form of Victory Impact Coin, which in turn is going to drive, some of the lowest prices on the internet for travel at first. You're going to have access to, little over roughly 800,000 hotel rooms globally. So, whether you're listening here from Seattle or Dubai, you're going to be able to use Victory Impact Coin to purchase hotels at a very significant discount to what you would find elsewhere. And then next year, anywhere between Q1 to Q2 24, might be earlier, we'll have a consumer site to where it's going to start off. We'll have access to 400 million different products you buy online, and that'll be available immediately in 200 countries.
Awesome introduction there, Anthony, and welcome, John. I muted you because there's a background, John. So if you're not speaking, if you can mute your mic, that'd be great. With that said, Mike, if you can help me locate him and unmute him again really quick here. I didn't want him to interrupt the. There we go. I see him there. There we go.
Yep. Got him. No problem. I got him.
Perfect.
Hey, John.
Hey, John. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, everybody. Good evening, morning, depending on where you are.
Yeah, John. Yeah, really great to have you here, Anthony. We're just starting the AMA here. I know you had a little issue coming in because of our bot portal there. People have issues coming in. But yeah, we just at the introduction process right now. So if you can go ahead and give a quick introduction about yourself, John, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm 17 years in the insurance.
John, if you don't mind, hit everybody else on our team though, if you don't mind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So John Spinner, I'm 17 years in the insurance business. Started off as an insurance agent, then worked my way up and through corporate management, formed my own brokerage in 2013. That formed into a large U.S. brokerage. We had distribution in all 50 states, over 6,000 agents, and we were issuing about $150 million in total insurance premiums every year. I sold that company at the end of 2018. The company's since resold to Humana. After that, I formed another company focused on innovations within the insurance space, particularly tech innovations. I've actually worked on a lot of blockchain integrations within the insurance space. That's really kind of led me to crypto, and then I've just really been obsessed ever since. Also formed an insurance software company, which we sold last summer. So I've been a part of 2 exits now from two startups, and Tony and I have known each other for years through a charity that we were board members on, and I don't know how much he shared about that, but we'll probably touch on that a little bit later on. I'll really jump to the rest of the team. Tony, did you introduce anybody else or just the 2 of us so far?
No, just the 2 of us. I sort of got on a random tangent about everything. So,
guys, as you get to know us, we're pretty passionate, and sometimes we do stray a little off course because of that. So we love this project. We're committed to this project, and sometimes, unfortunately, that takes us in some directions that might be a little off topic. But we do have a much broader team and just a couple people who we'd like to kind of give shout outs to for all of their hard work. First of all, we'll just kind of round out the executive team members. Our chief operating officer is Mark Dingle. He's a Cornell graduate, has been a part of several tech startups, and then also has worked for American Express at the executive level. Our chief marketing officer is a former U.S. Marine and just an incredibly talented person all around. That's Aiden Demoli. We have several consultants that work on the project from both a technical standpoint and a marketing standpoint. We have hired Team Checked as our overall marketing partner. They've managed significant, large multinational brands. We have a legal team, of course, and then most of our teams. Sorry, I'm leaving a lot of people out. Kyle Forch is our head of social media marketing. We have partnerships with Thad Moffitt, who's the grandson of Richard Petty. A lot of you who have been following us on Twitter and Telegram have seen pictures of a race car. We are the title sponsor of Thad Moffitt, who effectively in the States is racing royalty. And then we have a marketing partnership with Zach Boychuk as well. pretty prominent crypto influencer, former NHL hockey player. And then to my end, most importantly, our entire dev team, I'd love to give a shout out to. They really make the magic happen, both on the Web 2 side and the Web 3 side. And it's the broader team as a whole. And I'll kick it back to you, Tony.
No, thanks, John. I think you covered everybody. Absolutely. And I guess one thing I wanted to add too is, a couple of the executives, at least our consultants, they've, worked on very large crypto projects, right? Like, especially the people who are involved in marketing the project, right? We're talking coins that have reached well over $1 billion in market cap. But I think the big advantage our team has is that we all do come from traditional business. We've built, very successful startup companies. And, as much as Victory Impact is a cryptocurrency, it's also supporting a company that we started, right, called Victory Impact Inc. And that's the company that is going to be responsible for building out those marketplaces that we're talking about, Vic Travel, Vic Mart, and delivering value to the consumer that they've never seen before. The only difference is that instead of that consumer going on and, interacting with the website the same way that they have before, there's going to be a little bit of a change, right? Instead of getting cash back, they're going to get Victory Impact Coin back. And Victory Impact Coin is the engine that powers the marketplace and really provides our ability to give the discounts that we're about to discuss. And that to me is the cool part about all this, is that without crypto, this wouldn't work. And, I think that's why we got such a revolutionary idea here. I know our tokenomics is very unique. I think as innovative as our project is from a macro standpoint, if you look micro, and I do apologize up front, I don't think we have a technical founder on today, but John and I can cover everything to a pretty high level there. We have innovated as far as our tokenomics, and that's a big part driving this. And we know that because we just went through the listing exercise with Bitmart, and their lawyers and all the people over there were like, wow, like your guys' tokenomics are actually pretty unique. And that to me was pretty cool to hear.
Awesome there. Thanks for the introduction there, John and Anthony. We will dive deep into the tokenomics for sure. But for those that may have not read your white paper or checked out your website there, Anthony or John, if you can go ahead and give us a quick summary, or I guess they call it an elevator pitch, on what your project's about.
Tony, do you want me to tackle that one?
Yeah, go ahead, John. Yeah.
So, Victory Impact Coin is what's going to power our global rewards marketplace. It's going to offer unbeatable savings on daily products, travel experiences, and at the same time, each transaction's going to have a charitable component to it. So with every transaction on chain, a portion will go to charitable causes.
And essentially what that is for the first time ever, right, you're going to be able to save money and do good at the same time. That is just unbelievable to me. And, when we came up with the idea, I just couldn't stop thinking about that, right? Because when I'm looking at a website that, our team has built and, it comes on there to where, diapers, for example, right? Diapers are expensive. And for some people, they're so expensive that, it hurts their family and adds stress to their family. When I go on this site and I see that someone could potentially get up to a 40% savings on stuff like diapers, like that's powerful, right? Everything up from diapers to Apple iPads to hotel rooms, people are going to be able to save money, live life more abundantly through saving money. And then while they're saving money, they're going to be donating to charity. And, we're going to have features built out in the future to where people are going to be able to start, driving some decisions on where their charitable, allocation goes. At first, we're going to, vet the charities and everything, but, we will build to that in the future. And to me, that's going to be the real beauty of the story here, is that a lot of people, they haven't thought about being charitable, just because, plain and simply, they can't afford it. Like, they'd like to give back to causes, but just living to paycheck doesn't allow them to do so, where we're going to give those people the ability to, potentially not live paycheck to paycheck, because they're saving so much money on everything they're buying. And then while doing so, you're contributing to charity, whether you like it or not. And I mean, hey, if you don't like charity, you don't want to give back, that's fine. But I just encourage everybody, even the stoniest of hearts out there, to just try it. It feels good.
It does feels good, right? And how the world works is that you get whatever you give out, right? And it's just the law of attraction there. Not only makes you feel good, but you get it right back. That's the hidden secret of life. Yeah, so too, I mean, just let me to kind of reiterate what you guys said there. So you guys are focusing on your everyday products. You want to build a marketplace for everyday products and travel products, where members, who's that speaking? But your investor or your members that come into your marketplace can save a lot of money. At the same time, every transaction, there's a percent of that is being donated to a charity, correct? So I think
Exactly.
you guys are tackling a very big industry. I mean, you're talking about everyday products, everyday goods, huge, right? And I can definitely see
trillions.
Trillions. I can definitely see the
Trillions of
business
dollars,
model here, right? In travel, and Anthony, you mentioned, Expedia. That's what I use when I travel, right? And you guys are tapping into a very, very wealthy industry that are very much needed.
What's cool about the business model, I'm glad that you're seeing that. But what's great is that we're going to be making friends in that industry, because if you look at the opportunity with Victory Impact, we're going to be driving lower prices for these hotel rooms that, the big players like Marriott and Hilton are trying to sell. So if we're able to run our business more efficiently and drive more volume to their properties, then it makes everybody happy, right? Consumer wins because they're paying lower prices and they're getting to donate to charity. Our business wins because, every time someone purchases a hotel room, we're able to give them a rebate in the form of Victory Impact coin. And really, the usage of the coin is what keeps the lights on, right? We have a tokenomics structure to where the 1% is going to charity. So that's 20% of the fees essentially generated off the sale and, purchase of Victory Impact coin going to charity. Another 1% that's going to just, network maintenance, all the things to kind of maintain the blockchain and everything we're doing with that.
Well,
and
support the marketplace.
Yeah, exactly. And then, 3%, that's really, marketing. And, I was actually at a minor dyslexic moment there. That's going to be more for marketing and network management, security, all the things that you would expect from a large, well-ran company. It's going to support that to make sure that, we're delivering a tier 1 client experience. And then most importantly, one that's very secure as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that the industry that you guys are tapping into, there's a need for it. People, if you are tackling everyday products, everyone, I mean, we all use everyday products, and we all in the travel business is big, it's huge, very ambitious. I definitely understand the business model very well. Now, the question is, as we all know here, John, Anthony, is that we are so new to the space here, right? With this ambitious project, the marketing is where the hardship lies. What is your plan on marketing?
Well, it's very engaged, right? I think for starters, we're really focused on marketing to the crypto community. I think crypto community versus, your normie type of person, they're going to be more apt to be curious about this project and be early adopters of it. But I really think that, combined with our partnerships with the Petty organization, You know, I don't know if you guys have seen it. We've been fortunate enough to have a Victory Impact race car that we think is huge. And then on top of it, we have a lot of great relationships with some, you know, good social media, not only personalities, but we think thought leaders in the industry. So we're fortunate for that. And then, you know, I think it's as simple as when this travel site is launched, we have a lot of plans to showcase the deals that people are getting off of that. And, you know, for example, you're saving 60% on a hotel room, and we can verify those savings and advertise to the public of like, hey, if you come over to Victory Impact, you're going to potentially save, you know, $400 next weekend when you go on a trip. You know, that's going to be a story people really want to listen to. And then to kind of round it all off, our charities that we support are very community focused. You know, for example, the Bikes for Kids Foundation at the culminating event, and, you know, we'll go in more detail later in the call, but the culminating event, there's, you know, media there, you know, you have 300-400 people in the community there to give away these bikes. So, you know, we're going to be a combination of not only broad reach, but very grassroots as well.
Right. Yeah. So you have, I mean, like you mentioned, it looks like you have three demographics almost to tackle, right? You got the crypto, from what you said, looks like you guys are relying on the taxes to,
Yep.
I guess, to keep the operations going. So you have to market that to the
Correct.
crypto people, and then you have the B2C, right? The B2C people, which is the consumer, and you also have to do the B2B, which is the business, which is the brand onboarding. Is that what you guys are thinking, right? Like you're talking about when you onboard these products, everyday goods, you're talking about like companies, right? Companies coming on, willing to give you guys a discount on the products. Is that what the business model is?
Not exactly, John. Do you want to go a little more into that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to touch on a couple of things. And I'm a little more, I apologize to everybody too if I'm scattered. I actually left off one incredibly key member of the team too. Our community manager, all as well, has just done an incredible job managing our Telegram. We don't know when he sleeps, but he does an incredible job. But I'm on a family road trip right now. It was planned long before the AMA was, so I do apologize for all the background noise and my scatteredness as I'm driving. But so one of the key points that was actually kind of touched on, we look at the overall size of the travel business, and then the overall size of e-commerce. We're not looking to put a huge dent in the marketplace. Part of our business model is just trying to take 1 to 5% of the total market share away. And that's why we want to focus on crypto enthusiasts first, because we know there's well over 400 million people now who actively hold cryptocurrency. By appealing to those people first and getting the message to them as early adopters, we can take out enough of a portion of such a large market that we could have a multi-billion-dollar company. And obviously with that multi-billion-dollar company supports a very, very large token too, and vice versa. You touched on the tokenomics too, kind of being a part of it. They allow
John,
us to give back.
John, sorry to cut you off, and I know I hate this when you do this to me, but are you going to touch on the institutional aspect?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we'll grab that next. But yeah, the tokenomics, having that tax to support the entire kind of Web2 business model allows us to give that margin back to the consumer. And as far as, you know, when you talk about that, Tony always says this is, you know, we're giving the people control over the margin that's out there. Like, you now control the margin. So we're giving that margin back. And how that works is in a couple ways. On the travel side, we're tapping into, sorry, I'm losing my connection again. Tony, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can tag in. So on the travel side, we're tapping into existing infrastructures that have been around for the last 20 years, right? So like Expedia, hotels.com, you know, whatever site you want to talk about, they're all getting their hotel rooms from the same place, right? There's a central, call it hub, where you can go there and all the originators, we call them, the Marriott's, the Hilton, the Wyndhams, every day, like, month, whatever, these companies, they forecast the demand for their hotel rooms. And depending on those forecasts, they take hotel rooms and they advertise that they're for sale at this central marketplace. It's essentially a farmer's market for hotel rooms. And you have all these internet companies like Expedia, travel agencies. Before the dawn of Expedia and everything, you had your local travel agent tapping into this exact, ecosystem, right? And then Expedia came along and all these other orbits, and they put all the local travel, agents out of business. We're tapping into this exact pool. And the only difference is that, the travel agent, and Expedia, for the last, 50, 60 years of, this business going on, they've taken the commission from Marriott and Hilton to run their business. So every time, let's say you're XYZ Travel and you go and you sell a hotel room, after those people stay in the room, you get a commission check from, Marriott or Hilton. We're taking that commission check and we're giving it back to the customer in the form of Victory Impact coin, because by using the coin, we don't need to use that margin to run our business. We're actually able to give the margin back to the customer, hence allowing them to take control over the margin in their lives. So that's why, it's just so unbelievable, is that we're taking, for all intents and purposes, a lot of profit in this multi-billion dollar industry, and we're just giving it back to the people. And, John says, at first we're focused on, 1%, 5% of the total travel market. But, I think, we could all, just think about or have a beer over, like, hey, if you're offering prices this much lower, who else is going to want to buy that? And we think it's going to be a very, big time globally appealing, ecosystem.
Right. Thanks for that detailed explanation there. That's very clear. Understood. Now, as far as the everyday goods product, how are you guys? I'm assuming that you have to partner up with companies that offer these goods in volume.
Same thing, kind of. And I'm fortunate enough, and I'd say Victory. Go ahead.
I'm back too. If you want me to grab that one, I've got a clear signal now.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Take it.
So and we have one of the key pieces to our project is we had some great existing connections within the reward space, the cashback, you could call it the affiliate marketing space, whatever you want to refer to it as. We had literally some of the original kind of founders of the tech, some of the people who built out the APIs as consultants on our project. Thankfully, their non-competes ended not too long ago. So we had kind of perfect time in bringing this project to market. So we will have partners with over 60,000 merchants worldwide. And when I say worldwide too, we'll be in over 200 countries. We're not going to be everywhere. We understand that we have a global community that we need to support, and we're going to do our best to make it truly a global business. There will be some people that aren't represented in it, but we'll definitely have coverage on all the continents and over 200 countries. So those 60,000 merchants collectively will allow us to have 300 million product SKUs. So we do tap in, on the large aggregators. We're tapping into those existing ecosystems. We also will have direct relationships with some of the big brands. So all of the very large stores like Amazon, Walmart, etc. We will have direct relationships there. And then from there, it's tapping into a broader kind of aggregation of all these merchants worldwide. The 60,000 will be represented. It is the same principle as Tony said. All of these, as the travel side, all of these merchants can go and effectively have a wholesale affiliate arm of their e-commerce on the e-commerce side of their business. And once you're integrated in and kind of accepted as a reseller, you're able to offer for any merchants that kind of participate in the aggregation. So that is where we're tapped into, very similar to the hotels, and that's the coverage we will have right out of the gate. Our interface, we believe, is going to be unique too in the space. When you look on the e-commerce side, on the travel side, we're very unique because nobody's really doing cashback travel yet. So we're really kind of first to the market to bring it to consumers. So we don't have any real competitors there. There are some existing competitors when it comes to cashback e-commerce. The largest in the world right now is Rakuten. They did over $15 billion of top line revenue last year. For anybody in the States who watched the Super Bowl, you saw several Rakuten ads. Rakuten's interface, and actually the interface on all the kind of existing cashback e-commerce sites, and again, we're all using the same technology. We're just presenting it a different format, different intake to the consumer. And obviously, we're going to be offering a larger cashback through our Victory Impact coin because we're supporting our marketing efforts with the coin versus a Rakuten that spent somewhere between 300 to 700 million last year in marketing. So we will be able to offer the bigger discounts, but I think we'll be able to offer a very unique shopping experience on the e-commerce side. The travel is going to look very similar to what anybody's used to with an online booking engine. We wanted to keep that interface absolutely the equivalent to anything anybody's seeing in the space. So there's a level of comfortability and ease of use just from the familiarity of having a travel booking engine. The e-commerce, we wanted to make something different. As we were doing our market research, we realized that all the big competitors our future competitors in the space, they all make you go store by store and really kind of have to look at, 5, 6, 7 stores for an item you want to buy to see who's going to offer you the best discount on that item. You actually have to go and click on the individual store to find out what your rebate will be. So there we go. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Our website, in both the travel site and the e-commerce site, it's going to be a single sign-on for all of our users. Just as we talk about the kind of the UI UX of the project, our user experience will be a single sign-on. You'll create effectively a membership. It'll be just an email and a password, and that'll allow you to come into the space. You don't actually have to hold VIC initially. You can actually go and purchase with a regular credit card just like you would on any other site as well. You can load that credit card on your membership page, and you can use that to purchase your travel. You can use that to purchase your e-commerce, and then you'll receive your VIC back in the form of, you'll receive your VIC back in lieu of a cash back. You're going to receive the VIC token back. So it will be a very easy on-ramp too. And again, we're not focused on a non-crypto user yet, but I think it is important to note that we will have one of the easiest on-ramps for a non-crypto user that can go on, purchase with their credit card, and get Victory Impact coin back in their wallet. But going back to kind of the uniqueness on our user experience for e-commerce, you can search by item. As we were going over with our dev team, like the way we shop and almost the entire consensus of everybody on the team, save from one Rakuten user who disagreed with us, but everybody for the most part shops by an item. They're not going store by store trying to find the best deal they can. Everybody wants to cite, if you want to do Google shopping, if you do Amazon shopping, you're searching in a keyword and you're trying to find the best deal on that item. That is how our website's actually going to be set up. And our mobile apps as well. Another important note is we will be both on the iOS operating system and Android for e-commerce shopping. But it will be very similar to a Google shopping experience. You're gonna put in the keyword of the item you're looking for, and it'll pop up all relevant search results, and it'll rank in order of biggest savings, and then go down from there. So you can choose if you do have some sort of brand loyalty. It is pretty cool. So it will be unique compared to our competitors.
Awesome, John. I love the fact that you know everything. You know their numbers. You know exactly what you guys are doing. And it looks like you guys have done some R&D as well or research. No, so I actually, you know what, that's actually a very good business model. So I just want to be clear there. So what John just said is that so the market, the business model is pretty much through affiliation only. And that's the only way that you can scale up, right, to different
Yep.
countries. So you guys don't have to really worry about the logistic, the operations, and all the infrastructure that you have to build. So they would not be having any sort of inventory in-house. So this is through
Exactly.
a affiliation, and which is great because now you're dealing with the whole crypto space, the whole world. And so now it's all about partnership with different merchants in different countries, and let them deal with that logistics side of it, right? So that's the only way you can scale up. Yeah, great business model.
Thank you. Thank you for saying
Appreciate
that
that.
too. That means a lot because, we do tell some people that and they're like, oh, really? You're not gonna, negotiate directly with, these big companies like Marriott and, Hilton. And it's just like, well, maybe someday, but right now we just don't have to. Like it allows us just to focus on building the best product that's delivering the most value. And, there's been a lot of successful companies out there that have really done it just like this, right? And, yeah, they have some direct relationships with these carriers, but for the most part, they're tapping into the same APIs we're using. So, I mean, I think the business model is not only proven, but the value that we're bringing to it is just really going to be exciting for people who, let's face it, you can't get a basket of groceries for the same price today as you could 3 years ago, right? People are looking to save money. I'm constantly reading articles to where, everything is about how the consumer is, looking for new ways to save, innovative ways to save. And I just think really this is a perfect time for this project. That and combined with, I think things with crypto in general are getting a lot better. And I think it's okay to say that as scary as it was when, Count Ginsler, he, it's kind of spooked everybody with what he did, a few weeks ago. It only took, the nation and the world about a week to, really accept and, kind of take a deep breath and say like, hey, this crypto is here to stay. These SEC charges, they're not going to stick against the wall. And, really, I think if you even look further into it with, the presidential, candidates that we have, a lot of them are pro crypto. You've got governments all around the world embracing this. We're truly on the brink of what could be just a huge renaissance in this technology.
100%, 100%. And I think Florida's actually, you guys just signed some kind of bill that to support a crypto. I think you guys are the first state.
Yeah, we love it here. We love it here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's yeah, I think the business model is very efficient. I mean, I think we all heard of drop shipping, right? Yeah, so I think you guys are pretty much just combining. It is a proven business model. Now you guys just scaling up to the recognizing the crypto space and what it can do in the blockchain, and you guys just tying everything together because this is actually
No,
a business, a
it's
proven
amazing,
business
man.
model.
It's
They
amazing. I
are.
mean, go ahead, John.
Well, sorry, I was gonna say they are completely integrated to. You hit the nail on the head. Like it is kind of a seamless integration of the Web 2 and Web 3. Something we should actually talk about quickly on how some of the uniqueness of everything in our projects we think very well thought out. We didn't rush into any decision. Um, One thing that I know will always come up is we are built on the ERC20 network. So this is an Ethereum token. We put a lot of thought into that. For us, it was the only logical decision we could make. Just due to the size and credibility of the Ethereum network. We know gas fees are a problem now. Gas fees obviously aren't what they were a couple years ago, but still a problem nonetheless. We do have ultimate faith, first of all, in the Ethereum team too. I think with the Shanghai upgrade, they really proved that they could make very complex upgrades to their system, and do it not only efficiently but do it just best in class. I thought that was an incredible achievement by them, and I have no doubts with the sharding that's going to be taking place that we will have very, very low gas fees. I feel they'll be down into the pennies in very short order. but obviously that's the future, so we still had to plan on the present too. So we took that into account. For us, just the only
John,
choice.
you're breaking up really bad.
We do want. Sorry, yeah, we do want to be appealing on the institutional side of things too, and we felt to be appealing on the institutional side that Ethereum was our choice. So,
John, do you mind if I touch on that while your signal improves a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
So institutional wise, we're really excited about that. That's the world that I come from. I'd mentioned that, I did, some pretty substantial, I would call it asset management at my previous job. Same thing with John, his institutional connections with, some of the largest insurance companies in the world. We have an actuary on our team. So his name's Ben. He's the guy that built out Tokenomics, really all the numbers behind our project. That's Ben's house, and, he keeps it pretty clean, I think. So with that being said, he has a lot of institutional relationships, and, him, I got to just brag on for a second. He's managed books of business that are well north of $60 billion. So, that's why we're excited about this is that, we're just going to really be able to, not only build on some of our current relationships, but, also reach into the Rolodex, once this thing gets going and, hopefully create a digital commodity Victory Impact coin here that really stands the test of time. And just as our value grows, we're able to drive value for our customers and feel good about saying that at the end of the day, Victory Impact coin, it's not a security, and any increase in its value is purely incidental to the utility it's providing or will provide in the future. So, we're really confident in that. And, we've just had a lot of success, not only passing Howey tests in the United States, but also passing Howey tests, in Singapore. And we do have legal counsel in both, USA and Singapore. So, we feel we're checking all the boxes for compliance too.
I love that. Actually, I love the fact that you guys did your research in recognizing that you guys are from the U.S. Same thing with us, right? There's our barriers that we have to go through, and one of the ones that you just mentioned is the Howey test. And I'd like to touch on that in a bit here. But my question for you is this, right? I mean, affiliate marketing, it's well known as a proven business model. And I definitely can see this where consumer is able to go into your marketplace, let's say off a TikTok video, viral video that you guys create through your social media. They click on the link and they click on the link and sorry about the talk there, guys.
He's just pumped up over there. I don't blame him. John, it's usually you with the barking dogs.
Yeah, I was telling Anthony, my father-in-law came over here from Florida actually, and he just left for Hawaii. So I have a kid for 10 days. So usually I don't have a dog with me. It's an awesome dog though. But back to what I was saying. So let's say if you guys do a little TikTok video with a link to your marketplace. As a consumer, I have no idea about crypto. I click on the link, I land to your marketplace. I see a great product. I just buy it without having no knowledge, nothing. How are you guys gonna kick back to me as a consumer with a person who has nothing at all? You guys have anything like that in place?
Great question. So at first, I'm talking like first hour this thing launches. It's not going to be too difficult. You're just going to have to understand how to interact with a Web 2 site with a, trust wallet, like a MetaMask or something like that. And then as we build out the functionality of the site, when we get to the point in the business where, we're, instead of crawling, we're more walking, and we are marketing more towards that general, consumer, we do have plans in place, and we've had conversations with the right vendors, everybody from the, developers who would make it happen, all the way to the company that we would use to, buy the right types of insurances for this type of activity. But yeah, we'll have it all built out. So, someone can literally go, make a purchase with their credit card. They go on vacation, have a great time, by the way, because they're staying in a good hotel. And after they get back from vacation, they're laying in bed at night and they just log on to an app. And from there, they're able to see that the coin was directly deposited there. And with a click of a button, they can transfer it out. They can sell it if they want. They're even going to be able to, in our marketplace, purchase goods and services, to include hotel rooms and, the, everyday consumer packaged goods we're talking about. And of course, by choosing to, make your marketplace purchases with Victory Impact Coin, there will be benefits to that. We're just at this juncture not releasing those. We have a plan to release what those benefits are as the system gets closer to launching, just to kind of keep the focus and messaging where it needs to be right now.
Awesome. Yeah, I think when I think about this, like we all agree that it's a proven business model. You have guys on TikTok or whatever social media, Instagram, that make hundreds of $1,000s just off one link, right? And I can see you guys. So the scalability.
Well, we got the perfect influencers for it too. John mentioned our social media manager, Zach Boychuk. Well, not Zach Boychuk, sorry, I crossed people. It's Kyle Forch. Kyle and Zach are really good friends. And, Kyle is just a tremendous talent, super hard worker. I think he's, creative in his own right. And, just has a really great network of people that he's met in and around, his, up and coming career of being a singer, living in Nashville. I believe he was on a TV show, John, I'm forgetting the name if you remember it. And then, his buddy, Zach Boychuk, he played for the Carolina Hurricanes, just being in the NHL, met a lot of people. And, they're going to really drive a lot of that activity. And one of the people we have lined up, not going to say her name, but, for example, she has 4 million followers on Instagram. I believe she was a supermodel at one point. And, really her entire Instagram is just her traveling the world and, promoting ways to do it. So, we think with her engagement, that viral video that you just talked about, we have a really, really good plan to make that happen.
Yeah, so I think the possibility is endless. Yeah, I think like you said, those partnerships are very important. But yeah, if you guys can figure out a way how to facilitate the process and make it seamless for even the regular consumer, is able to buy in and somehow eventually onboard them to the crypto. And I think you guys can do that and actually onboard a lot of people to the crypto space.
So that's the whole point of this. Like that's the biggest problem with crypto right now. Is there's not enough adopters, right? And there's a couple reasons why. First reason is a lot of your average people out there, right? Every day, call it, I guess the way I would put it, your everyday American, this is Crypto USA. they think crypto's a joke. They think people who put their money in crypto are like the same as like people who, go and gamble their paychecks at the casino. Like they just think it's horrible. They look at, projects like Pepe, it gains all this national attention. It's on Bloomberg for going up to like $1 billion. And, the commentary on it is just like, who cares about this? Like, laughing almost, like people still putting their money into these meme coins. It's like, what do? They don't do anything, and then from there, really the other reason why they don't want to get involved with it, because from a user experience, it's horrendous. I mean, I think, if we're all in a room right now, I would just say, hey, everybody raise your hand if you've had to show, an older member of your family or one of your friends how to do a transaction in crypto. I mean, it's like trying to tutor someone on like linear algebra almost, it's like unbelievable, so the user experience is horrible. So I think we're really solving for two of those. I think the feedback that we've gotten from a lot of people, in and around our networks and the businesses we currently run is like, wow, we really see a project that actually adds value, right? When I give someone a 10-second on, Victory Impact, it's like, hey, here's a project that is going to allow people to save money and do good at the same time. And, while doing good and saving money, you're going to be able to give back to charity. So, how would you like an extra 40% in your pocket on a, yearly basis? I think that's going to enable people to travel and spend more time with their families, right? Family, friends, love, it's all interconnected. So I think it's something that is absolutely going to catch on. And, that's why I'm excited to be here when, small forums like this today, because this is where it starts, right? It really does. It starts with, good people like you, good people like your followers who can really see what we're trying to do. And just like us, look at that and be like, wow, I want to be a part of that too. And, I've been saying it for a while. I've been saying it with my coconut water company, but, really ultimately what we're doing here is we're starting a movement, and, it's for the first time ever going to give people the ability to do good like they've never seen before while saving a ton of money. And I think that's going to be a really cool thing to see how society reacts to it.
100%. I think the ingredients are there, right? I think like just a matter of you guys really put in the work, form the connections, and but yeah, the ingredients are there.
So here's the cool thing. I love that you say that. Like what you just said was, okay, the ingredients are all there. Now you guys just got to execute. And I think really, if you look at members on the team, this isn't our first project. Like, we've actually had failures in the past, right? We've had, other companies we've tried to create, other careers we tried to start. And, you kind of get to positions like we are here, through kind of like failing forward, if that's cool to say. But, I think really the difference is that, all of us have built successful companies, myself included. I've taken a beverage company that, didn't really have any sales, discovered the product, became great friends with the CEO at the time, just kind of outlined a vision for how we were going to build distribution. And now we're, on a per SKU basis, the number one selling product in America. That company is, absolutely going to be a $200-300 million company here in the next, I would say 2 to 3 years, just with the data that we have. So same thing with John. He's built companies that have had 9-figure exits, well above $150 million. Ben has closed, super big deals. So I just say all that not as like a reason to brag, but I say it as like everyone on this call is interested in this project and the people who are behind the project. And, I just, think it's important for you guys to know our backgrounds and, the fact that we build big businesses because we're very process orientated, right? Like everything we do has a process. That's what our chief operating officer, Mark Dingle, is doing here. Really just keeps the train on its tracks. And, with that, we get good outcomes, I think.
And I respect the fact that you mentioned that you failed forward, and I rather work with a person who had failed and kept on going, and then with the person who never failed before. 100%. The only way you can win is to lose first. That's it. So no, you guys came from a great entrepreneur background. I mean, it's proven there. And this is how it came about. And I think this is actually very ambitious. That's what all led to this. This is a very ambitious project. But it's not doable because I think you guys actually at the right time for this concept actually.
And we're well funded too, which I think is important, right? Like I think what's cool about it is that, I did mention we did start a company, right? So for example, if, a regulator ever came up to us and said, hey, like, I want to see if there's any securities over here, we could say, okay, great. Yeah, they're right here. It's a Delaware C corporation. And, that business that we created was to, build out the project, right? Like everything we've done up to this point to, develop the token, market the token, the listing tomorrow that we have on Bitmart. Haven't talked at all about that, but yeah, that's kind of been a crazy thing for the last 20, I think close to 30 hours. I think I'm running on like 6 hours of sleep, but we'll get there. So we're pretty excited about that. And that's all been funded by, myself. I put in a little bit. Everyone on the team, our core executive team, has put in money. And then, we just have some very close advisors, more or less mentors of ours who, built large national, global organizations who've also put in some money and kind of gotten us to where we are here. So, we're excited, and, what we're confident about is that, people, they're going to see what we see. And, I think that's going to be what's cool about this for me, is just hearing the feedback of, how Victory Impact actually helps people live life more abundantly. I think that's going to be a really, really beautiful conversation.
Awesome. So with that said, though, I'd like to go ahead and ask a few questions to does you guys are live right now, and I'm looking at the market cap right now. Let's take a look really quick here. You guys are sitting on at 2.8 million with 550K LP, which is actually very, very healthy. Now let's take it back a few steps back. How was it launched? And you said,
is it 2.8 or 2.08?
Let me take a look here. 2.08.
2.08. Okay. I was going to say,
yeah,
holy,
but
holy
you
smokes,
mentioned
we're
that
having a great night.
Yeah, you mentioned that you guys are well funded. Now let's go back for a few steps back. How did you guys launch, and were there any kind of special rounds of funds raised? And if there were, are there any vesting tokens left?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. So we did a pre-sale to close friends and family, and we didn't allow anybody in that pre-sale to buy. I forget what the threshold was. It was like 4,000 or maybe 6,000. John, please chime in if you know the exact answer.
Yeah, well, I'll just
go
ahead. Tony, I can. Yeah, we're stationary, and guys, I'm so sorry. This road trips aren't conducive to a call. We're at a gas station now, but yeah, we did a private for the liquidity pool. We did a private round. Those tokens. So our entire, as you referenced, our liquidity pool is pretty healthy. That's actually all locked liquidity. 100% of it's locked liquidity. So that was close, personal, friends, and family. Frankly, most of them high net worth. For the very reason that, we don't want those tokens being sold. So we have a locked liquidity pool there. Our founders tokens as well. I think it's important to note that we locked our founders tokens for an entire year. We wanted to show the entire community that we are completely committed to this project. This is not going to be a rug pull, pump and dump scheme. Like, we're in it for the long haul. And, with the founders tokens and the liquidity pool, we have over 50% of the total token supply locked currently. So we think that's an important thing to know and very unique within the space. Don't think you'll find too many projects that have, effectively half the tokens locked and not being sold. So we did do that initial private round for the liquidity pool. We did a very, very quick, small public pre-sale, and that was just to reward it mostly through whitelist spots to reward people, early adopters in the community.
I just want to throw this one thing in here. Seattle, that's kind of a minor example of kind of like failing forward. And I think you'll think it's funny why. So I'll say that in a second.
Oh, sorry. Did you want me to keep going, Tony?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we did do a 1 day small public pre-sale on Pink Sale. And I think that's probably where Tony was going with it. We consider that a fail forward. And actually, Tony, I'll let you jump back in because we're going to hear a lot of background noise in a second again.
No, sure. Yeah, I mean, we had a ton of interest for it. Community was hyped. And then just naively, we set the minimum purchase price, just way too high. I guess initially it was to encourage, more, I guess, diamond hands investors. But ultimately it kind of priced a lot of people out of that Pink Sale. And, we totally saw where they were on launch day because, on launch day, we started at, 400 or so thousand, $340,000 market cap, got all the way up to about 1.9 or 1.8ish million, came back down to, a low of about 1.1 million. And then ever since that low, for the last week or so, we've just been, slowly see our market cap going up and up. And what really excites me about it is that we have a wide variety of buys coming in. We have, sometimes, we had a purchase the other day that was for like 5 ETH. I mean, that was pretty cool. But we also see a lot of, $75 transactions, even like $7 transactions. Those are exciting me more than the big ones. Really that's exciting me because, we already have people seeing that, Victory Impact is a potential, source of hope for things that they have going on in their life.
Awesome. Now, besides, excuse me, besides the founders tokens, and you mentioned that it's locked up for 1 year, friends and family. So I guess my question is,
1 month.
On all of the vesting tokens that are left, do you guys know the number, what is left, and what would you say the percent of that to the total supply? Just the vesting tokens.
John, do you know that off the top of your head? And sorry, guys, we're not technical founders, so please excuse us if we don't know this off the top of our head.
Normally we do have our actuary, Ben.
Usually I'm like, Kyle, what is that? Yeah.
Normally we do have our actuary, Ben, handling those. He's on vacation this week, but hey guys, I'm literally at a rest stop, so you're going to hear a lot of background noise. But it is 51% of the total tokens are vesting tokens. So 49% are non-vested.
Okay, 51 is vested. Okay. Those are the good. Those are the number that I think our community wants to know. So thanks for that number. Awesome. Yeah, guys. From what you said, you're sitting at 2 million and see a lot of buys coming in. Actually, a lot of buys coming in lately. Actually, when I first heard of the project. Now, I got to ask you a very tough question here, John and Anthony. When I first look at your contract, I was like, man, this is going to be a fast AMA. I'm going to come in here and just going to shit on these guys. And talking to you guys are very legit, very legit people, and you guys have a lot of good background, a lot of experiences as well. But the contract, John and Anthony, why is there a mint function in it?
I love that question because I knew exactly where you were going. Right.
Perfect question, and I can tackle that one if you don't mind, Tony. So, kind of what we touched on when we talked about ETH. Knowing that we had to go with ETH, when it came to giving rewards back, the very next thing was like, man, how are we going to do this without just getting killed on gas fees? Because we're the ones, effectively we were going to take from actually go buy in the open market and then use that as the give back. And we're like, we're just going to get crushed on ETH gas fees. And then also our attorney strongly recommended against that, thinking they would push us towards a security too much. So all in all, we needed a solution. So we created bear with me guys, I'm going to get to a more quiet spot here if I can. Guess that didn't work. So we needed a solution to minimize ETH gas fees. So even though it's a dirty word on the minting side, we came up with a batch mint function. So we'll process all rebates due on each day. We'll process using a batch mint function. So we'll effectively just pay one set of gas fees. So we'll just pay that gas fee one time to mint all the rewards for a day. And with that, we're going to do a simultaneous burn. So even though it is a minting, effectively our 400 million token supply is going to be the real true token supply. That being said, because we're doing the kind of minting / near subsequent burning, it's not an instantaneous process. So you'll see in our tokenomics that we do have a 500 million max token supply. That's just to give us the float in tokens as we're minting before the burn takes place, but it'll be a proportionate equal percentage burn to every token that's minted. So it'll be a net zero effect. So it was really just to solve a problem with our utility in making gas fees manageable. So it was for us as we, and it was over a month and a half before we
John,
kind of.
if you don't mind me adding too, like, remember the
Sure.
day when Kyle came up with this, because that was one of the biggest things we were talking about while we were doing the whiteboard. We were trying to come up with a solution on how we actually give these rebates to, people in the form of Victory Impact Coin. And I mean, John and I probably spent, 20 hours on the phone with attorneys, different consultants. And, really we ran into everything from, potentially crossing money transfer issues, right? Like, we could have been, if we weren't careful, operating as an unlicensed bank, essentially. That was something that we could have ran into. And then one day we're just sitting there and Kyle goes, "Oh, I think I got it." And then immediately when he said that, he's like, "But let me be very clear." And, Kyle is from New York. He's really good at saying the F word. And he just goes, "I just want everybody to know, people are going to effing hate this when they first look at it. They're going to absolutely shit on the project." He goes, "But once they learn why," he said, "I think they'll love it." And I think the reason is that we came up with a mechanical solution for what is more or less, primarily viewed as a technical problem. And, that's what I think is really exciting about this. And, that was the same thing we got, from the feedback of Bitmart's attorneys, explaining our tokenomics to them and, how we do things. And, it was just really exciting to, get the seal of approval from their legal team and, their advisors of wow, you guys kind of have a revolutionary protocol here. We're actually in the process now of patenting it. So, we do have a patent pending on it. And, we think that's going to be something that, we can kind of not only build what we're building here, but, down the road, 10 years, 15 years from now, really use to build a significant ecosystem. So it's pretty cool.
So definitely, and I'm glad that you guys recognize that there's a I guess this stigma in that into that mint function, and rightfully so, as we saw what happened in the space, right? Almost every single project that had the function ended up not very good for the investors. So it looks like you guys recognize that. But looking at your chart, it seems.
So then here's the deal too. It's okay, you guys don't know me. You don't know our project. The average person looking at this isn't going to know us, know our project. And I think when they learn more about it and they look at our max supply being 500 million, they then kind of take a sigh and they say, okay, the circulating supply, 400 billion. I would not like it if the circulating supply ends up being 500 million someday, but our project versus those other, call them rug pulls that, just kind of over minted. I don't think they had the constraints built into their codes that we have. And I think really, it's those constraints, those guide rails that we have, controls this, it's an engine, right? Victory Impact Coin is essentially an engine. We've secured this engine in an area to where it's not going to break the car,
Is this something that I know? Looking at your chart, it shows that the community really trusts you guys, 100%. Because I tell you what, most of the project that come here with the mint function, zero. I mean, it goes down. I mean, nobody would even buy into it. But look at your chart. There's a lot of trust in your community. And in talking to you guys just now, and you guys have that. I mean, I can sense the trust with you guys as well. But it is something that you guys, our community needs to know that there is the mint function. Now, with that said, though, Anthony, John, is that something that you guys are willing to do an AMA and explain yourself every single time? Or is that something that you guys maybe down the line think about getting rid of the function so that way you don't have to explain yourself every single time?
No, I mean, why? I mean, we're going to just I mean, you're almost asking Dunkin' Donuts to take the frosting out of their donuts because some people don't like it. You know what I mean? It's I'm not going to take the mint function out of our project because some people are too lazy to understand it. And I think really why I say that with such passion, and I'm sorry to kind of flare up there, but I really think it's super innovative. And, it's something that when you look at its function and its purpose within the utility that we're creating, that's why I say we're a new class of crypto products, right? You know, like I think really we've actually invented an asset class with Victory Impact. And, you know, if you look at the projects that our team has, you know, worked on, you know, that's sort of something that we've done in our careers, right? I wouldn't, you know, take credit for any one of us inventing an asset class, but, you know, we did all have a lot of experience coming up with complex financial products and being around complex financial products that, you know, for all intents and purposes weren't exactly well understood. And then, you know, 2 months, you know, or I say a couple years goes by, and all of a sudden, you know, everyone understands them. Everybody's excited for what it's done for their portfolio. You know, I used to sell a lot of, you know, they're called structured products. I don't know if you guys know what those are, but, you know, essentially they're, you know, complex derivative instruments that give people the ability to make a return, and they have stops on them so that when the markets go down, they don't go down. You just get your principal back. And like, that was something that a lot of people didn't understand. And you actually had a lot of people not telling their clients about it, but it was the guys who, you know, told their clients about it and prevented their clients from losing money who became successful. And I think that's exactly what we got here, right? It's like, I think our job is to just explain it more. Our job is education, right? Like, I feel very strongly about it. Our actuary feels very strongly about it. We need to take the responsibility at Victory Impact to, you know, as we grow, you know, a series of, you know, fun educational videos like that, you know, really explains this mint function in maybe like 20, 30 seconds. And then another cool thing about this mint function and why I'm so confident in it is that once people see it work for the first time, and we're actually able to show transactions and, you know, the utility that was created through this mint function, you know, we mint and then we burn and then we move forward. It's going to be after that you see, you know, a whole new group of people come in, because, you know, at this point right now, you know, the people who are in are people who are, you know, listening to us on our Telegram. You know, I'd say, guys, if you want updates for the project, join our Telegram. I'm personally very active on there. Do note though, I don't respond to any personal messages on Telegram. I mean, I used to, but, you know, I guess my lawyers didn't want me doing it anymore, so not doing that. But yeah, great way to communicate with people and, you know, kind of just let everyone know what's going on in the project. Like, you know, for example, sign the final addendum to our Bitmark contract today, and, you know, immediately got on Telegram, let the community know that, you know, hey, just got the final seal of approval that, you know, listing tomorrow's going off without a hitch. So yeah, we're pretty passionate about just educating people and, you know, doing that.
I will say one thing. It's not so much that we wouldn't be open to it in the future either. It's a matter of if there was a true reason for the utility of the token, because for us that's everything, then absolutely we'd consider any other solution. But as it stands now, it's the only kind of solve for our problem that we have. In the future, if there's a better solve, absolutely we would be willing to. We're always going to do what's going to provide the most, you know, true real world utility for the project. But short of having a reason, you know, an actual better functioning utility, we wouldn't get rid of it. But if there's a compelling reason to do so, beyond just kind of, you know, placating people and easing their fears about a minting function, if another solution provided more utility and was a better solve for our problem, then absolutely we would.
I love the conviction, and thanks for that detailed explanation on that there. And it is up for the community to decide and make that assessment on your own. But yeah, I think it is something that, you know, as we know in the space, like you said there, John, if the project and figure out a way to ease the fear a bit. And I think that will bring just more confidence with more access to your project. But with that being said,
do you mind if I say one more thing, Seattle? And I'm sorry to cut you off. I know we're over time, but I think really the biggest thing that dawns on people when it comes to our minting function is that behind every mint, there's real money, right? Like, and it's real money from people who aren't going on an exchange and purchasing Victory Impact just because they think it's a cool project. It's going to be real money from people who are getting a tangible hotel room, staying in that hotel room, and then boom, Victory Impact, the whole community benefits from that cash coming into our ecosystem. You know, that's how we keep our lights on, deliver the value of the marketplaces. But that consumer, they've all of a sudden been able to take control over the margin in their lives. And I think, you know, if it's okay, I'll just close with this. The savings are incredible. You know, we're talking, you know, 60, 70%, you know, on some hotel rooms and rental cars. That's not going to be all of them, by the way. You know, you will have examples on there where the savings might only be 5 or 10%, but the extreme end, you know, the big savings, 60, 70%. You know, give you a quick example. I was just messing around, you know, not serious about really staying at this place, but, you know, you ever go into an area and just pick out what the most expensive hotel room is and, you know, see, you know, how much it would cost to stay there. So, you know, going on this site, looked at the Waldorf Astoria in Orlando, which is, you know, one of the most luxurious hotels in the world. And the cheapest room you could get there is for $820 a night. On Vic Travel, you're going to stay in that room for below $400 a night. So the savings are pretty crazy. That all comes back to people in the form of Victory Impact Coin. And, you know, with that being said, you know, that's why we think the mint is so great. It's because, yeah, we're just not minting coins so that, you know, the founders can mint some coins and go sell them to people so they can buy a new Range Rover. Like that's not what's going on here. We're minting coins when there's an actual transaction happening and, you know, there's a reason to mint and burn. And, you know, we're only doing that activity when there's value present.
Cut off there, Anthony.
Did I cut off?
Could you guys hear him?
Did you guys not hear me?
No, I did hear him there, Seattle. Did you happen to cut out there, brother?
Oh, no, I think I lost it for like a couple of seconds there. Yeah, I heard like 99% of it. Yeah, no, that's there's a mint. And in talk to you guys, like I said, I wasn't coming here and like shitting you guys, but to talk to you guys seem very legit, very professional, well put together team as well. But yeah, and you know, it's one of those things, right? It's one of those things where I know you guys are using it for.
Seattle, you're breaking up. Can anyone else not hear him?
You are breaking up a little bit there, Seattle.
And okay, let me go out in really quick. Hold
on. Mike, so you like doing a lot of push-ups too, huh?
I was once there. I'm getting back to it a lot, into fitness in general, but
I had a crazy roommate when I was at West Point. They had a push-up challenge, and I'll never forget this guy. His name's Austin. This guy was ripping like 50 push-ups every like 10 minutes. And I think I don't know how many thousand push-ups he did in one day, but he did it for 24 hours straight. He like woke up in the middle of the night and ripped push-ups. I think he won.
That's crazy. I'm actually on vacation right now out in New Hampshire, camping actually. And we had a good event the other day, and I wish I had my phone. I really did. There was like 6 or 7 of us that all were doing lined up push-ups together. It was a perfect moment. It really was.
It's like a meathead lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys got to join our push-up challenge there, Anthony and John.
Hey, send me the info. We're in.
Yeah, we will. All right. No, thanks for the explanation on the mint function there. So I know that our community had the same question. So yeah, good explanation. All
Mike,
right. Let's.
I'd be curious. I'd be curious though, like, after we explain the mint function to you, like, as someone who started this call with the mindset of like, oh, yeah, this is going to be easy. These guys have a mint function. I'm going to, be able to go pet my dog, earlier than I thought. So like after we explained it, like, what is your take on the mint function, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I think from my perspective, like I said, from talking to you guys came from real entrepreneurship background, professional people will put together a team, and it looks like you guys are docs. So there's no reason for me to believe that you guys would use that in the wrong way. Uh, but from my perspective, as as a person who runs USA Crypto Group, I have to speak for both sides, right? And we have to state the fact, everything about the project. And there were concerns on the questions that I see in our community. Now, rightfully so, that there are concerns, right? Because we know that in the space, with the mint function, everyone is able to mint tokens, right? Just generate tokens out of nowhere and sell it off the sell on the market, and so that's how rug pulls happen.
There's a lot
So
of
I
fear
think that the
out there.
concerns,
A lot
there's
of
a lot
fear
of
we're
fear
dealing
out there.
with.
Right, there's a lot of fear out there, and so when I speak on this mint function, I'm not speaking from my personal opinion on it. It's just I just want to let the community know, and I'll also give you guys a chance to explain on your side, and let the community make that assessment. And
Well, it was kind of funny, and I'm glad you say that too, because like I know I already mentioned this, but our teammate that I was mentioning, who more or less came up with this, he goes by Crypto Carl. He's our resident degen. It's like he is so proud that we're all doxed and he's not. We're okay with it, right? Like Carl, do you? But like that's exactly what he said to us. He goes, I would never buy an effing mint coin. He goes, I would never do that. He goes, but I think I would buy this one. And we were just like, okay, that's good enough for us.
I mean, your chart shows it. It sure looks like it had a few buys after we talked about it, so so that's a good thing. Good thing.
Glad to hear that.
But I tell you what, right? I tell you what,
So,
right?
so if you don't
Trusting in the
mind, we
crypto
just got
space.
some questions. If you don't mind me just reading this one, what are victory strategies in building a big and strong community? And do you agree that the power of community will lead Victory Project to grow globally? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, community is everything for our project. I mean, if you look at the charities that we're supporting, they're all super ingrained in the community. I'll start with Bikes for Kids. Bikes for Kids is a program where we go into Title I schools. Everyone at the school primarily is living well below the poverty line. And we have a book for the third graders called Think Big, Work Hard, Be Kind, No Excuses. Kids read that book, and the kids think that, they're going to enter an essay contest to write an essay about what they want to be when they grow up. And the prize is that the top 3 essays win a bike. Now, winning a bike for these kids is absolutely incredible. Like no one in their family's probably ever owned a bike even. So it's a really big deal. The kids work really hard. And at the end of the, semester, we have a big community event. Typically there's like 200-300 people at these things. You're going to see big victory impact signs. We're going to have people from the executive team there to talk to the local media. In addition to that, we have some very good support with the Bikes for Kids Foundation, with a lot of professional football teams, hockey teams, basketball teams. I'm the Southeast Regional Director, so I stay very involved in Bikes for Kids. And the beauty of that is that we're able to go to this ceremony, read an essay, give away a bike, read another essay, give away a bike. And after that second essay, you start to see some of these kids, and they're, for one, very happy, but other kids are kind of sad. They're like, man, I'm gonna get let down like another time. This stinks. And after that, we come back and we said, hey guys, we just talked to your sponsors over there, Seattle and Mike, and they agree. We had some really, really good papers here, and you kids work really hard. And what happens when you work hard? And all the kids go, you get rewarded. And we say, that's right, you get rewarded. And for that, we know every kid here is capable of thinking big, working hard, being kind, and not making any excuses. And for that, everybody gets a bike. and we give all the kids in the school a bike. And why we're so passionate about this project is the impact that it's had on communities. Kids who get these bikes graduate high school at a rate of roughly 2,000% higher than kids who don't get these bikes. So essentially, through Bikes for Kids, it's our vision to reduce generational poverty by roughly 2,000%. We think Victory Impact is going to drive that. We got another charity that helps kids who are terminally ill. That's Petty's Victory Junction, most winningest NASCAR driver in American history, Richard Petty. They're very, very close friends of ours, and we're going to be making an impact at their camps. We've supported 2 military charities to start, one that focuses on veteran suicide and the other that focuses on working with Purple Heart veterans, people who are, double, triple amputees, helps them, learn how to surf, primarily in San Diego right now. But we think their surf therapy can be a really big nationwide thing. And then, on top of it, because we do have such a global community, we're now in big discussions with an organization in Africa. Don't want to mention the country right now for, security reasons, but, there's a country in Africa that's in severe turmoil. And we've met some local, call them, I don't know, John, what you would call them, but they're just absolute tremendous people. That's all I can say about these guys. And they're activists.
I would. They are activists. That's the best way to describe them. And we'll just, we can be region specific. So they're starting in West Africa, and they're building infrastructure in rural areas to kind of create, I guess you could call it almost like a Pan-African type movement. They're trying to build infrastructure and bring resources to rural areas in West Africa first, but they do want to expand out to all of Sub-Saharan Africa. So incredible organization. We want to continue to expand, as you talk about community. We want to, on the charity side, expand to have a true global reach. We do want a charity in every continent, much like how we want our marketplaces to be global. We want our charitable impact to be global as well. And we'll rely on the community heavily for that as well, too, to help recommend good causes that they personally champion. But going to the broader question as far as community of token holders, participants in our ecosystem, absolutely. We want to continue to do AMAs, spread the message. We've got a ton of contests coming up to drive people to our Telegram. We've got 17 influencers that'll be posting over the next 2 days with a combined reach of, I think, 34 million followers on Twitter. So we want to be driving people to our community. Community is everything, and we want to foster a certain type of community too. We've had talks with our moderators and community managers that we want to welcome everybody. We want to be, as Tony always says, family, friends, and love. We wanted to have a really, really good, just a good, strong community, but with just a good feeling. We know Pepe may feel good. We want everybody to feel great. That is our ultimate goal. And we know in order to have a strong project, we need to have a strong community behind it. So we're taking steps, not only on the charitable side to expand our community, but as far as immediate impact, we're doing a ton of marketing to try to drive as many people to our community as possible. Everybody in our Telegram now is organic. We did actually have a bot attack that dropped about 1,000 users off, but we actually we've gained back most of them already just in a couple of days. But we hope by the end of next quarter to have 20 to 30,000 people on our Telegram, and we want to have Twitter followers up in the hundreds of thousands. So we're going to be pushing hard. We'll be doing AMAs with other groups every week. We'll also be doing at least one Twitter space or AMA just within our community every week. So we're going to stay active. We're going to stay engaged. Tony posts probably 24 times a day on our Telegram. all of the actual execs post on Twitter and Telegram. So we're going to stay active, engaged in the community, and just kind of keep it driving and keep it moving.
Well said there, John. Mike, I think you just lost your job. So usually Mike keep tracks of the questions and he will read off the questions. I think Mike just lost his job.
You mind if I read another one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see
Go
here.
for it.
This is fun.
So Tony, so what you do is you click on the banner above, and you right click and you hit view replies, and it shows all the questions on there.
Oh wow, that's great. You guys know how to use this a lot better than me.
Try and errors.
So this is a question from Louis. Do you allow suggestions and feedback from the community? Are we allowed in decision making? Do you put community into consideration? John, do you want to take that one?
Short answer, yes, 1,000%. No, we love to hear input, even if it's criticisms. Like, just as we talked about the minting function earlier, like, if there is a better solve that increases our utility and somebody has it, we would love it. Input all around on the project input. When we do launch our actual Web 2 sites, we want input. If our user interface isn't up to par, we want people to tell us what we can improve on. 100%. Particularly if it's in Telegram, we'll be very appreciative of it. As long as it's constructive and it's not, doesn't offend members of our community, we're all for it. Like, absolutely, we always want to get better. We never want to be complacent.
I think too, John. I think his question was more towards are we operating in a way where part of our
like a
blockchain, blockchain function is going to be to vote on company decisions and things like that. And no, not for this project. We have a very clear vision for how we're going to build this thing. We've created a digital commodity here, right? If you're the type of crypto user where you want to do research and have votes and stuff like that, we're probably not the project for you. But we have created a digital commodity, and I've just done a lot of through experience, and I'm sure John would agree to this, and you guys would too, is that big organizations are not built by committees, right? They're built by strong, tight-knit teams, and for that, we're just putting it out there that hey, as we grow this project, part of figuring it out and kind of clearing the trees here, which we're doing, I think. We're not going to get everything perfect every time. I mean, look at our pink sale launch. We set the price too high. We were probably talking, we had 7 phone calls that day where it was like, oh man, probably should have set that price lower. Everyone in our community is so mad at us over that. You know what I mean? So, we're not going to get everything right every time, but, we do think that, with our experience, we're just going to add a lot of value, and, you're not going to care that you can't vote on, what we're doing here. But what I know you can vote on is just like John said, we're like the airport. If you see something, say something. Especially we just ask that, if you do have concerns, just send a private message, because usually for every question there is, reasonable explanation, but, feel free to post in our group as well to drive that discussion and, really that education behind why we're doing things. And you'll see there, I pose questions in the Telegram community all the time for people.
And we just got a great one tonight, Seattle, as you were talking about, how important the optics on the mint function are. We don't do a good job, aside from our light paper, we don't do a good job explaining it. We need explainer videos, and we need to really kind of prioritize and emphasize that point and how it works and why it's not actually a negative. I don't think any of us have put a lot of thought into the lack of education we have on that, because we've done so many AMAs and our community's well informed, but new members coming on might not even, consider us because of it, without ever diving deeper. So, we have to do a much better job actually, getting explainers out and then just making it more prominent everywhere. So there's no ambiguity on it.
And part of that's educating the, ratings agencies out there too, right? We like, what is it, a 65 rating on DEX tools. And that's just being driven by the minting function. So, as time progresses here, as people see how we're doing business and understand what they're owning, right? Because everyone who is participating in Victory Impact Coin, they're becoming an owner in their life, right? For the first time ever, they're given a very seamless way where you don't have to, go and meet a bunch of people at 9 at night in a, high school gym to talk about, Amway or something like that, giving people a very seamless way to take control over the margin of their life. And, that comes with the risk of, putting your faith in us and Victory Impact Coin. And yeah, we just have a strong commitment to our community that, as this project grows, so will the level of, our ability to educate the people who are interacting with our project. Just up to this point, the primary focus has just been getting the train on the tracks, and then it's on to the next set of issues that, your newfound position in your journey kind of presents you with,
Awesome. Thanks for that answer there. Yeah, I think that would be very helpful as well there, John. Awesome. Would you guys want to read off another questions, or you want Mike to come up and read if you?
Mike, go ahead and read them. I mean, sorry, I don't want to. I don't want to take your
job. So.
Oh man. Oh, I'm here, guys. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Seattle, John, and Anthony there. We do have a couple here. Let me read this one off from Etc. here. His first question is, why have you decided to limit purchases to avoid whales? There's great investors and always necessary in one way or another. Have you thought that it could be more positive to encourage them to participate and offer a great ecosystem so that they do not have to leave so abruptly?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what we're trying to do, right? And I think, one part that may have not been clear is that the anti-whale feature of the way that we launched, that was really confined to that initial pool of liquidity in the project. And the reason why we, say it's anti-whale is because the very foundation of the coin is amongst a, for one, pretty, wealthy, I would say, high net worth group of people. But, we only allowed these people to buy a maximum of, in some cases, like 4,000. I think our biggest one was 6,000. And really, the guy who put in 6,000, he totally strong armed us. And I'm just like, John, he's just not going to stop calling us. Just let him do it. I mean, but yeah, we had people who right from the beginning wanted to put in 10,000, 15,000. And, we just really made it so the foundation of the project was sturdy. But, as it stands now, whales can come in, nothing's preventing someone from coming in and, for example, buying $1 million of Victory Impact. But I think that's an opportunity for us. I did notice that, the messaging on our website, does need to be a little clearer on what that anti-whale function was for.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, just to kind of go a little further on that, yes, it was just purely for the pre-sale. By our very nature, we're probably going to attract a lot of whales. I think if you look at some of the wallets, some whales have already come in. Just by our previous business backgrounds, people that know us, our LinkedIn, we've advertised LinkedIn, obviously, that this is our new project. I mean, we know a lot of people in the institutional space. That's really where our backgrounds are from. We're going to attract whales to the project. Really no way around it. And I think so far whales have come in. Again, post-launch, not pre-launch. We didn't allow anybody. But the whales that have come in post-launch, I think you can see they are kind of to the point of the community member that asked that. I think you can see they are pretty diamond-handed, and I think they are going to lend a lot of stability overall to the token, especially in the early stages. So, I mean, it really was relegated to the pre-sale, and I mean, whales will just by nature, they're going to come in, already have, and probably will continue to come in. But I do think it's due to just our backgrounds. I think we will attract the right whales. We're going to be there, be steady long-term holders, and just really be diamond-handed.
Thanks for that, John, and Anthony there. Naturally so. This is actually a really great project, one that I'm actually going to be invested in myself, as I do love to travel and everything. And it just seems like a really great option that you guys are building here today for everybody that, like you said in the beginning, wants to come out with a family vacation, do this, do that, go visit here at such a incredible discount. I mean, even some at 60, 70%, some even at 10%. I mean, 10% over like some of the expensive places you were calling there, $870. 10%, that's a substantial amount even. Even though you did say it's about a 50% discount on that, which is astronomical. So it really is a great mission you guys are pushing here, and I love it. It's something I could stand behind.
Really, really appreciate that feedback, Mike. Thank you.
So one of the great questions I love to ask on every AMA is from start, from when you guys said let's make Victory Impact. What has been your biggest difficult task to date?
For me, it's pretty funny, but I mean, the most difficult task I think was really just everyone who knows us, right? Like our friends, our family, like our spouses, like this project coming out, and it wasn't hard for us to, convey our vision to everybody, but, like John and I, we just have, such other big things going on, in addition to Victory Impact that, for me, part of the difficulty was the immediate like rejection almost of like, oh, that's crypto. Like, what are you, dumb? So you hear that so many times and, you get over it. But, that's why I think that feedback's important in the beginning because, if you really, really should do the project. And, that's part of being an entrepreneur is that, we're presented with great opportunities all the time. And, most of them you just say no to because it's not a sensible use or potential, sensible use of your time. And, this one from the very start, John mentioned, it took us like about a year to like fully iron out what the business plan for this was going to be. And, I just think, nothing was super, super hard, but, then again, I've done it with a really, really close friend of mine, John here. And, that to me has been the fun part.
100%. That's 99% of the battle in my eyes is being able to enjoy who you're working with and for an enjoyable mission. 100%. Let's see. Most of these actually were very already answered. A very detailed AMA today, guys. I think we touched on this very early on in the AMA, partnerships. Is there anything that you could speak on that you guys have currently landed for partnerships and looking to onboard in the near future?
From a marketing
John, you
standpoint?
want to touch on that?
From a marketing standpoint? Oh, from
Correct,
a marketing standpoint?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we have, of course, our partnership with Team Checked. Anybody can go check them out online, no pun intended. Just a very, very reputable, large marketing firm, both in the Web 2 and Web 3 space. One of the reasons why we chose them was the fact that they're one of the few kind of larger organizations that do have experience in the Web 3 space. Tons of great marketing firms when it comes to just a traditional business. But for ours being kind of that Web 2.5 Web 2.5 project, we felt they were one of the few that had expertise in both areas. So first and foremost, them. We've already touched on, obviously, the title sponsorship for Thad Moffat, Richard Petty's grandson. As far as new marketing partnerships that we haven't announced, we've got about 18 influencers that will be posting over the next couple days. Their followers on Twitter range anywhere from 30,000 up to 185,000. Partners that we already mentioned too, Zach Boychuk. Zach's up over 800,000 Twitter followers. We do have something
by the way,
that
guys,
we're working.
John,
Well,
sorry, I just want to insert this one
I
thing.
got one more I got to get in though, Tony, because it's a big one.
Yeah, I'll let you continue. I promise. A lot of these people, they stop talking to you when you say, "Hey, show me your data." So I think that's been a cool thing too. Is we got some really good ones.
Yeah, I mean, I feel very confident in the influencers we have partnered with. I think kind of the biggest thing that's not public, and we will kind of be very nebulous with it as we describe it, but we are working on a partnership, one with with a potential Netflix TV show that's going to highlight cryptocurrency around the world, and we're working on that partnership right now, and that'll just give us enormous exposure and credibility. We're actually looking to come on as a producer on the show,
John,
and
you
with
dirty
that we
dog.
would have yeah. Sorry, was I not supposed to? Was I not? Was that too soon? I don't think I'm. We're always trying to. We do have attorneys that yell at us pretty much every day for stuff we say.
It is late.
But
it is late, so you guys might
yeah.
get some
So
flavor tonight.
I am tiptoeing around that a little bit, but we are in the process of finalizing that. We hope to actually be a producer on an actual Netflix show that highlights cryptocurrency, both the good and the bad, but will give us just a ton of exposure. Of course, we are still going to shamelessly self-promote the project throughout that show. But we do hope to be finalizing that over the next 30 to 45 days.
Yeah, and
That's amazing.
that's a show that's going to be cool because, I think, really one of the biggest things we feel responsible for is to kind of tell the story of crypto, right? It's this absolutely glorious technology that, it's just kind of, been in the hands of the wrong people, up until now. And, just people who are, hey, we can all agree, very, very intelligent, smart people, but they didn't exactly have a great view of the world. You know what I mean? And, that's why a lot of these projects have, failed. And, that's why you have billions, not millions of people on this planet who think crypto is kind of a dumb thing. And people who invest in crypto are kind of scummy and, they aren't nice and they're going to scam you and rip you off. And yeah, we've seen it all. But I think really the opportunity is to tell that story of, where crypto has been and, kind of frame this future of where crypto is going. And what really encourages me is that, through some of these conferences we've gone to, Bitcoin Miami, we were actually the title sponsor of Shitcoin Miami. And as you can imagine, when my team told me, we were going to sponsor that, I was kind of a hard no at first. But then, quickly learned that, despite the name Shitcoin, it's kind of a facade because, you find some of the most serious people in the world of crypto there. And, the lady who puts this on, I'm sorry for airing the conference out like this, but I mean, you had owners of big exchanges there, I think BitBoy was there, you just had some really great people there. And
I don't think he actually had a big. He's been there previous years. He wasn't there this past year.
Yeah. So that was really, if you're going to ask me, we've always believed in the project. We've always thought we've had a great vision, but that was the first time we went and we told people who know about crypto about it, right? And the reception we got there was just incredible. I mean, there was probably 45 different projects on stage. I'd say, these people were just straight up mean to some of these, projects, I felt bad for them almost. There was some absolute heated criticism in there. And, after everybody got to hear us out, we just came out of it with some great relationships and a lot of feedback that, people could see this as, one of the next big projects out there.
100%, and that's it. If the uneducated people that are still trying to get into the crypto space, and it is a crazy space to get into. If you don't know it, it's just like the saying, if you're not comfortable with it, you'd just rather not do it, right? So being able to educate these people and getting them onto the crypto is one of the biggest tasks that we have all had, and educating the masses to get onto these projects as well. So, any educational pieces that can, help push these people to understanding crypto better as a whole, as opposed to, I don't know it, I don't want to do it, is going to be massive for anybody who can actually accomplish that.
100%. And this has happened, before in history. It's just been a very long time, right? Like the first marketable security, right? The first company to capitalize itself so it could sell its stock to the public was the Dutch East India Trade Company. And when that came out, everyone was like, what is this? Before that, if you owned a company, that was like a really, really cool thing because like you had to know people to own companies, right? Like it was usually, groups of people who all knew each other, and that's how companies were like primarily owned unless they were owned by the state. Enter the marketable security, this genius idea. Everyone's like, wow, this is going to change the world. You had a real use case, right? Where it immediately became one of the most valuable things on the planet. Everyone was talking about it. And then the value of it plummeted, because there was a lot of bad actors and people like that. It's like, I'm almost talking about Bitcoin, right? It's like this thing came out, it went nuts, and you had people just like they did today, creating fake projects to where, they sell shares in a company and, they take all the money. And, back then it was pretty easy to disappear, if you can imagine, back in like the, 1500s, you could move somewhere, change your name, and no one knows, right? So pretty nasty world back then. And, we have a nasty world today. I mean, I think that's one of the things we understand is like, hey, not everybody on this planet's a good hombre as much as we want to be a good hombre. But, with that being said, we think this is an opportunity where this asset that you can almost compare to, the marketable security, 500 or 600 years ago. And I don't mean compare it to, the fact that it's like a security. I mean, compare it to the fact that it's as revolutionary as, that instrument coming out. We have an opportunity here where we're all alive to kind of take advantage of it. And I think it's just going to do tremendous things for the planet. I mean, look at what you guys are doing. You guys are creating this project through push-ups to where you're going to create community centers and, improve the lives of the people who participate in your blockchain. Like, that's beautiful. And that's not possible without cryptocurrency.
100%, Anthony, 100%. And it's going to be a great journey for all of us. And we look to have you guys along with it too. I mean, it's such an easy thing to just jump aboard, and there's going to be crazy educational pieces to be 100% front and teaching everybody the blockchain while being able to get fit. So we're looking forward to all that. But John and Anthony, it is rounding about 2 hours here, so we're going to wrap this up, brothers. That's all the questions we're going to take tonight. I appreciate the presentation. It was top notch from you guys. I'm going to kick it back to Seattle, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Tony. Very well articulated yourself. I came into this AMA, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was going to be shit, but amazing presentation, amazing team, amazing project. So well done, guys. Well done. And John and Tony, I look forward to see you guys doing push-up every day when we open up the room.
All right. Well, Seattle, we appreciate your time tonight. Appreciate everybody who hopped on too. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so Anthony and John, so what we'd like to do is we like to raise awareness to your Telegram room, and it's up to you. We'll pin your TG. We tell the people here to go join your room. Mike's going to pick like a $10 winner. Is that something that you want us to do? We offer this to every single project. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of people that's going to join your room, and they're going to drop like a sticker. Yeah. So if you don't want spam, that could be an issue.
Yeah, I'll turn the spam thing off right now. We're going to have 3 winners, so 3 $10 rewards if they join our Telegram right now.
Okay. So how are we going to keep track of the people who join? Usually we ask them to drop like a sticker, the USA sticker, or say something in the line of great AMA over here. Is that okay with you guys? Or
great AMA. Just have them write crypto USA, USA crypto with an American flag, and we'll count them up, and we'll put them in a random generator and select 3 winners.
Awesome, guys. So I think Mike or Johnny is gonna pin the TG, guys. Great project, great concept, and it's very scalable. I love the business model. Like Mike said, this is not financial advice, educational information only. But I will buy into this project, after talking to the so Mike or Johnny, you guys can go ahead and pin the TG and you guys join. And I know there's like 50 questions that we didn't have the chance to really go through it. Make sure you guys protect in the community and ask the questions over there. Tony, John, amazing AMA again. And thank you so much. And if you guys have any updates you guys want us to pin, just let us know.
Appreciate everybody. Mike, Seattle, thank you guys. Entire community, thank everybody for sticking with us for 2 hours.
Yeah, really appreciate it, guys. And, if I could just leave you with one thing, just remember Victory Impact Coin, it's not a security. Any increase in value is purely incidental to its utility it has or will provide in the future.
Awesome. All right, guys. Now, with that said, I know Mike is on a vacation right now. Usually he does a giveaway for the participants here. So I'm not sure how Mike wants to do that. But the floor is yours, Mike.
All right, guys. Well, I do have a random number giveaway tonight. We're going to pick a number between 1 and 250. I had already posted this number into the group earlier, pre-AMA. So have at it. Let's get those numbers rolling in the TG group. First to hit it, we'll stop it, and we'll award $20 for it. Also, we're going to do, I'm going to go through all the questions, pick what I feel was the best question asked tonight between all of the questions, and award another $20 there. And like Seattle said, join over to Victory Impact's Telegram group and say great AMA over at USA Crypto Group with the USA flag. I'll pick an additional $10 winner there. And it also sounds like John and Anthony here are also going to pick 3 additional $10 winners. With that being said, let's get those numbers rolling, guys. That was a really great AMA tonight as well. I was really glad I came down and got some signal to join in with you guys.
Yeah, you guys are cool. It's like, are we off the recording now?
Hold on one second here. I will shut it.